I am 26-year-old female and my adopted sister Ali is 14-year-old female. The way we're related is that my younger brother Michael, 24-year-old male, has been with his wife Maya, 24-year-old female, since their freshman year of high school. Maya and Ali had a really bad home life, and my mum is very much a my home is open to everyone type of person. So over that year, Maya began spending more and more time at our house, eventually bringing Ali over as well, since she was always babysitting. By the time Michael and Maya were 16 years old, Maya basically lived in the guest room, and Ali spent after school, most weekends, holidays and summer vacation at our house. My mum and dad say that they love both Maya and Ali like their own children. My other siblings, 18-year-old male and 16-year-old female, also treat her like she's a part of the family. Even after Maya and Michael moved out, Ali is still at their house the same amount, if not more than she was before. Now, to preface, I have nothing against Ali. She's a good kid and I make an effort to be nice to her. However, I've never really liked how she was foisted into our lives. She's not actually adopted and she still has parents and her own family. Yet my parents spend so much time and resources on her. It's ridiculous. Everyone else has started unironically calling her their daughter or sister, and I've refused. I just don't consider her to be family. Anyways, I got married recently, which is where the issues start. I invited Ali to the wedding, of course, and she came with all of my other family. When we were doing pictures of the wedding parties, I decided that I wanted one with all of my immediate family, so my parents, my siblings, and Maya and Michael's daughter. My mum brought Ali up to come take the picture with us, and I was forced to tell her no. My mum started to get upset, but then Ali said it was okay and sat down by herself. My mum isn't a very confrontational person, so she didn't make a big deal of it, but then everyone else realised that Ali wasn't there, and they got mad as well. Ultimately, we took the photo how I wanted it because they didn't want to do this at my wedding, but my entire family is pissed at me now. My mum said that Ali cried when she got home because I don't love her, which I don't. I feel like they forced into a position where I had to do a jerk thing by forcing this kid onto me. I don't think I should have to consider her family if I don't want to. Am I the idiot? Edit. After the ceremony, but before the reception, the wedding party and both of our close families took photos. I did not include Ali in this photo session, and she sat with the rest of the regular guests waiting for dinner. I did not intentionally exclude her from any of the photos taken. I'm sure she's in some of them from throughout the night, especially because she was there with my family. I hope that clears some things up. Edit 2. Maya and Ali are sisters. Sorry, forgot to explicitly say that in my post. Final edit. The people who are agreeing with me are starting to convince me that I'm wrong. To the people calling my parents nasty things in my PMS, or just saying that they aren't good people, you're dead wrong. My mum is the most caring and kind-hearted woman in the world, and I should have made that more clear in my post. To be clear, I'm also not a monster. I don't mistreat Ali. I get her birthday and Christmas gifts every year. However, I am starting to understand that I did do a shitty thing by publicly excluding her at my wedding, because I wanted it to be exactly how I imagined, especially because my mum was apparently blindsided by my feelings. I was 16. 18 when Ali started coming around a lot, and I didn't form the same bond everyone else did. I never super liked being around kids, including my sister, who by all accounts behaved way worse than Ali ever did. But I recognise that she's become a part of our family, and I think I'm going to make more of an effort to get to know her properly, because I do know she is very mature and intelligent for her age. Also, I don't mean to minimise what Maya and Ali have gone through. By saying she wasn't physically abused, I also meant to explain why she hadn't been legally removed from her mother's house. She does have extended family that actually cares about her, but they live at minimum an hour away, so she stays with my parents the majority of the time. Thank you for all of your input. Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Against the grain a bit, but no idiots here judging by the ages. You were practically out the house when Ali became a factor into your family's lives. It does seem like you didn't have a chance to develop the same relationship with her as the rest of your family. She is family to them, she is not family to you. That is not really anyone's fault, but kinda how the circumstances came out. You have no official relationship and no personal relationship. While you could have taken the extra photograph to keep the peace the day of, the fact is, you would have felt weird including someone neither you nor your fiancé consider family in a photograph, and likely preferred the photograph without her as is. If that's the one you chose to display at any point, it's just tabling the same fight for another time. She was essentially invited to keep TGE peace as is, not because you wanted to celebrate your wedding with her. You just didn't mind her coming along. It's your wedding day and supposed to be celebrating with family and the people supportive of the couple, which Ali technically is not because you guys have no real relationship. There might actually be a slight AH to the parents. If they want you to accept Ali as a sister, what have they actually done to build a relationship between you guys? It kind of seems like they expected you to just have one, and it doesn't work like that with older children. We actually see a lot of that in this sub with step and half siblings. This is really the same scenario. OP just has no personal relationship to Ally, so it makes sense OP would feel weird about a stranger to her being in the wedding photos. Comment 2, I'm so sorry, but you're the idiot. Unless my math is failing me, this child entered your life when you were 16 and she was about 4, and you already had 3 other biological siblings younger than you but older than her. Your words sound resentful, as if you started being neglected at that time, but you're taking it out on Ally like her sister babysitter. Removing her from her really bad home life as a preschooler was her fault, like she had designs on worming her way into your family. That's not what happened. I hope you understand that. Perhaps therapy could help. Edit for clarity, you're the idiot, because you were a weenie to Ally at your wedding. You could have gotten your immediate family photos in a much nicer fashion. Edit 2, because people keep trying to give me information that I already have. I know Ally is not adopted. I know she is not OP's family. I know that Maya is really Ali's sister. I know that OP has every right to exclude whoever she feels like on her wedding day. I know she owes Ally nothing. I still think she's an AH for the way she behaved. I'm not sure why everybody wants to change my mind about it. Edit 3. Michael and Maya's relationship did not start when they were 16. I question my math because I'm not sure how old people are when they're freshmen. I was 14/15th, so I went with 14. Comment 3. You're the idiot. You said this girl has been living with you and your family for 8 of her 14 years, since your 24-year brother was 16. More than half of her life and basically a third of yours. That is a long time. On top of that, you let her sister in the picture. You say you wanted a picture with your immediate family, but included Maya, the girl's sister, and Maya's daughter, the girl's niece, who, despite being the spouse and child of your brother, would not be considered immediate family. You basically included every important person in this girl's life in the picture, but not her. I'm normally very much on the side of, it's your wedding, it's your call. But this seems like you are being unnecessarily cruel to a child that clear is in an already horrible situation. Now for the update. It's been a month since my wedding day, and I wish I had better news to share. I tried, I really did, to make amends with Ally. After all the feedback, I realised I'd been unfair, and I reached out to her to try to include her more in my life. We started with small steps. I invited her over for dinner once a week, and even set up a girls' movie night. But things took a turn for the worse. Ally's been having a lot of trouble at school. She's been bullied, and it's gotten pretty severe. Last week she was physically attacked by a group of girls. When we found out, my parents and I were horrified. We've been supporting her through this, but the trauma has caused her to shut down. She's not the same vibrant, cheerful kid she used to be. On top of that, my parents have been having marital issues, which seem to have been exacerbated by the stress of the situation with Ally. They're talking about separation, and I can't help but feel like my actions at the wedding might have contributed to the tension at home. I'm trying to be there for Ally, but she's pushing me away, keeping to herself. I understand why. After how I treated her, it's probably hard to trust that I genuinely want to build a relationship now. I wanted to fix things, to become the sister she never had, but instead everything's falling apart around us. It breaks my heart to see her go through so much pain, and I can't shake the guilt that I'm partly to blame for not recognizing her as family when she needed it the most. Now for the comments. Comment 1. Not the idiot for feeling guilty about past actions and wanting to make amends, but it's important to recognize that Ally's current situation is not solely your fault. Bullying is a complex issue that is often the result of multiple factors, and while your past treatment of Ally may have contributed to her vulnerability, the blame for the bullying and attacks she's facing lies squarely with the perpetrators. That said, it's commendable that you're taking steps to include her more in your life and trying to be supportive. It's understandable that Ally might push you away as she deals with her trauma. It's a common defense mechanism for those who have been hurt. Continue to offer your support and be patient with her. It's essential to respect her pace and her healing process. At the same time, consider seeking professional advice or counselling to help both her and yourself navigate these complex emotions and situations. Comment 2. Not the idiot for the emotions you're experiencing, but it's worth noting that Ally's reluctance to accept your support may stem from a place of deep hurt and mistrust, especially if she feels that your past actions contributed to her current struggles. Instead of feeling solely responsible for her pain, focus on actionable steps you can take to help her heal. This includes acknowledging your past mistakes directly to her, offering a genuine apology, and asking her how she would like to move forward. It's also important to advocate for her in addressing the bullying, whether that means involving school authorities, providing resources for counselling, or other supportive measures. Additionally, regarding your parents' marital issues, it's vital to understand that as their child, you are not responsible for their relationship. While it's natural to be affected by their problems, it's also important to set boundaries for your own well-being. Comment 3. Not the idiot for feeling responsible. However, it's crucial to approach the situation with a sense of understanding and respect for Ally's experiences. One important aspect to consider is the impact of bullying on mental health. Ali's withdrawal could be indicative of deeper psychological effects, such as depression or anxiety, which would require professional intervention. Encourage her to seek therapy if she hasn't already, and offer to support her through that process while being careful not to push her beyond her comfort zone. It's also worth exploring ways to create a safe and inclusive environment for Ali, perhaps by involving her in family activities that she enjoys, or finding a support group for bullying victims. Finally, remember that healing is a journey that takes time, and you'll need to be consistent in your efforts to show Ali that you see her as valuable and loved family. Now, for the next story. My husband and I hosted my 29th birthday party yesterday and invited 6 of our friends, 3 couples that we consider our core friend group. I had come across the concept of molecular food pairings a few months ago and was really intrigued by the idea. Some of the recommended pairings require expensive ingredients like caviar that I can't justify buying on an average day, but my birthday seemed perfect. So that's what the theme was, a molecular tasting party. I put together a total of 15 courses, but they were very small, just a few bites each. There was also a moderate amount of other snacks laid out and cocktails. My husband and I both had a really good time. We ranked the pairings, had drinks and played card games. I thought everyone else enjoyed themselves too. This afternoon we got a text that was presumably sent to the wrong group chat that said, "Can we just be honest and say that the whole thing was weird? She's like this every year. The rest of us just go out. How has she not gotten the idea yet? It's rude." Another person replied, "At least last year she made an actual meal. I'm mad I even brought a gift." I sent "what the heck" back, and the whole chat has been silent since. I don't know what to think. It really hurt my feelings, and I don't even feel like they like me at all if they talk about me like that. But also, if I'm making people feel like they're forced to participate in things they think are weird, that's a selfish thing to do too, and maybe they're right. Now for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Not the idiot, and I think for your birthday, you got the gift of learning these people aren't your friends. If they were actual friends, they would have had a conversation about how you are like this every year, rather than just shoot-talk you behind your back. Going forward with a new group of friends, if you do something not mainstream, I would say, "Hey, I'm fascinated by the idea of XYZ. My husband and I want to host this. Would you be interested in coming? This way." If they don't, you two still get to do this, but also expectations will be set that people know they are coming to something unusual. I was invited to a blind eating experience. I'm claustrophobic and have a very specific and deadly food allergy, so I said no and said why. I actually Googled molecular food pairings and have gone down a weird rabbit hole. I showed my fiancé the article I was reading, and he wants to do this now. For anyone else. Comment 2, not the idiot. Honestly, I don't even think you'd be the AH if the food pairings were weird. If they didn't like it, then they could have said that when you told them what the theme was. Or if they realised it at the party, they could have asked if it was okay to eat something else, as it wasn't something they really enjoyed, IDK. Or they could have kept their mouths shut and let their friend enjoy their own birthday. I've thrown my own odd parties for my friends, and they would never trash on me like that, or have a separate group chat I'm not in. Drop them. Don't even let them down gently. Just stop communicating since they don't seem to know how anyways, but I'm a bitter witch, just to be clear. Comment 3. Not the idiot. And I think your party sounded fun. Even if I left hungry, it's at least something different and interesting. Your friends are immature and sad. If I'm making people feel like they're forced to participate in things they think are weird, that's a selfish thing to do too. And maybe they're right, that's not selfish, but what your friends are doing is childish. I bet they are panicking now. One of them will reach out to apologise. When that happens, it's up to you to decide if you want to accept an apology. Now for the update. I wish I came back with better news, but it's been a month since that molecular tasting party debacle, and things have spiralled. After seeing those texts, we tried to clear the air with our friends. It was awkward, but seemed okay at first. However, it's like we opened Pandora's box. One couple, the Smiths, started being passive-aggressive, subtle digs here and there like at a BBQ where they joked about us probably wanting to deconstruct the hot dogs. Last week we found out through another friend that the Smiths had thrown their own dinner party and intentionally didn't invite us. Apparently they've been bad-mouthing our pretentious parties and saying we were trying too hard to be different. It's as if our tasting party gave them an excuse to vent years of pent-up irritation. But it doesn't end there. 2 days ago, our mailbox was stuffed with anonymous letters, filled with snide remarks about our lifestyle, and a crude drawing of what I assume was meant to be us, but with grotesque features, serving a snob buffet to our cult of friends. We suspect it's someone from the group, but no one's owning up to it. We thought these were our closest friends, but now we're second-guessing every interaction. It's disheartening to think that the people we valued so much are capable of this level of pettiness. We've decided to take a break from the group, focus on other friendships, and maybe find people who share our enthusiasm for the unconventional. Lesson learned. No more molecular gastronomy or anything out of the ordinary for the foreseeable future, at least not with them. Now, for the comments. Comment 1. Not the idiot. Hosting a molecular tasting party is a unique and interesting way to gather friends for an experience that is out of the ordinary. It's regrettable that the event didn't meet everyone's expectations, but that's no excuse for the Smiths to react with such hostility. Being passive-aggressive and excluding you from their own dinner party is a clear sign of immaturity and an inability to communicate their feelings effectively. Moreover, bad-mouthing your parties and interests as pretentious is disrespectful and unkind. As for the anonymous letters, that kind of behaviour is toxic and can be considered harassment. You are well within your rights to distance yourself from this group and seek out individuals who share and appreciate your passions. A true friend would approach any issues with respect and an open mind instead of resorting to pettiness. Your decision to avoid unconventional gatherings with these former friends seems like a wise choice to maintain peace, but remember that you should never feel compelled to suppress your interests to appease others. Comment 2. Not the idiot. It's important to recognise that not everyone has the same tastes, and while the Smiths may not have enjoyed the molecular tasting party, they could have expressed their feelings in a constructive manner. Instead, they chose to handle the situation poorly by being passive-aggressive and then deliberately ostracising you. Friendships should be built on mutual respect and understanding, not on shared interests alone. It's also concerning that they took the time to badmouth your event to others, which is a form of social sabotage and indicates a lack of integrity on their part. The anonymous letters are particularly alarming as they cross the line into personal attacks and bullying. It's commendable that you're choosing to take the high road by distancing yourself and not retaliating. However, avoiding unconventional gatherings altogether might not be necessary. Instead, continue to embrace your interests and share them with those who are genuinely interested. It's important to find a balance between being considerate of others' preferences and staying true to what brings you joy. Comment 3. Not the idiot. Everyone has the right to their own interests, and it is unfair for the Smiths to expect you to conform to their idea of what is normal or acceptable. Your choice to host a molecular tasting party was a way to share something you enjoy with friends, and there's nothing wrong with that. The Smiths' reaction was not only inappropriate, but also indicative of a lack of empathy and open-mindedness. Choosing to exclude you from their event was a petty move and reflects poorly on their character. Furthermore, anonymously sending insulting letters is cowardly and constitutes harassment, which is never acceptable. You have every right to want to distance yourself from such negativity and find a circle of friends who are supportive and respectful. Remember that it's important to be surrounded by people who encourage you to be yourself and who celebrate your unique interests, rather than those who belittle them. While it's considerate of you to think about avoiding unconventional gatherings to prevent conflict, you should not have to censor your creativity and passions for fear of criticism from people who have already shown themselves to be unkind and closed-minded. If you liked this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.